Welcome. This is my follow-up video to my first video that I made of the electoral map as the polls show Biden against Trump. There have been some changes from yesterday to today, and we'll check them out over here. Not many, just Georgia. Trump has lost a little bit of support and Biden has gained a little bit, which will put Georgia on tilt Republican instead of lean Republican. And so that is a big change from yesterday. And then we also have 2nd District of Maine, where here it shows it as a complete tie. So we're just going to put that as toss up because, well, it is a complete tie according to the polls. And yeah, those are the changes. So let's get right into my forecast and why I think this is going to end the way I think it's going to end. Okay. So, first of all, let's fill in all of the states that I think are going to go Republican. So I definitely think that Alaska and South Carolina will go. That was pretty obvious though from the start. Texas, I think, will go Republican. Because of its voting history, it's just a very Republican state, and I don't think the Democrats can take that. I think they will be able to take Iowa, unless Biden really has a really good night and wins by a major landslide. I think Iowa is pretty safe for Trump. But it is one of the states that could go blue. Georgia, I think this point maybe could go either way, but I am still leaning towards Trump because, well, it's Georgia. It's a very Republican state, and I don't think that the Democrats can get enough black voter turnout to flip the state blue. So I think that's going to go red on election night. Now, Ohio is interesting because it is in the tilt column for the Republicans, but it is a very necessary state for Trump to win. If he does not win Ohio, there is really no chance he will be able to win the presidency. So if Ohio does go blue, he will not win, and Biden will win by a major landslide, making Ohio probably go blue, maybe even Georgia, and who knows, maybe even Texas. But if he loses Ohio, that is definitely a very bad sign for him. So I think it is going to go red, just because it is Ohio, and he really is campaigning there a lot because he needs the state and he needs its electoral votes. So now let's move on to the Democrat states, and I think that, well, Colorado is going to go blue because, well, it is a very blue state and the polling is very strong for Biden. Nevada, I think, will definitely go blue because the polling there is very strong for Biden, and I don't think Trump can really get more votes in Nevada. It just doesn't seem possible to me. Now let's move on to Minnesota, where I think Biden will definitely take its 10 electoral votes because the polling there is very strong for Biden, and it is a generally blue state, so, and also Clinton won in 2016, so I think it's a pretty safe state for Biden. So is Michigan. The polling there is very strong. Yes, Trump did win it in 2016, but I really do think that this will go to Biden because the polling there is just very strong for him. Now there has been some debate about New Hampshire. I personally think that New Hampshire will go blue. The polling there is just very strong for Biden, and I can't imagine Trump really taking New Hampshire unless he really wins by a fairly big margin. But other than that, I think it will go blue. Moving on to the almost toss-up states, I would say this is really what's going to decide the election. These states, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Arizona, and also these two districts, second district of Maine and the second district of Nebraska. Let's start with North Carolina. North Carolina, while Biden is polling very well and doing better than expected, I do think that Trump will take it because, well, it is a very red state. Its history is very red. Now, let's move on to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, I think Biden is polling pretty well, almost with a 5-point lead, and it is his home state, and he will definitely make sure that this will go blue, and he will campaign a lot in this state. So I do think that Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes will go to Joe Biden. Now, this is where it comes down to Wisconsin, Arizona, and Florida. Florida, while Biden is polling well, not as well as before, but still he has that lead in Florida, which is very good, considering the history of Florida being very close. I think an almost 2-point lead for Biden is a very good sign, but I do think that Trump will make sure that he takes Florida because there really is no chance he will win on November 3rd without Florida. So I do think that Florida will go red. Now, I think that the race will come down to Wisconsin and Arizona. Of course, if Biden manages to pull off a victory in Maine's 2nd District and Nebraska's 2nd District, he will win the election. But let's just say that Biden does not win Nebraska 2nd District and wins Maine's 2nd District. Let's just say that happens. Now, here is where it can really get tricky. Because if Trump does win these two states, it is an electoral college tie. And this means that it will be decided by the House. And in that scenario, Trump is very likely to win. He is very favored to win. So that would basically be a Trump victory. Now, I think that Biden will take Wisconsin and Arizona. Not too sure about Arizona, but I do think that he will take Wisconsin because he will make sure he will campaign endlessly in the Rust Belt. And I think Arizona will just be a trophy prize to basically be like, I won Arizona. That's basically to like secure his victory in a very solid form. But if it does go red, it really doesn't matter because Wisconsin is really a state that is going to decide the election, I think. And I think Biden will ultimately win Wisconsin. And yeah, so that is my prediction for the 2020 election. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree, and tell me what you think. You can tell me the numbers of the electoral votes that each candidate will get, and yeah, have a nice day.